2018 McLaren 570S car review. The subtle feedback of tugs and twitches coming from the steering wheel with every pavement undulation and nuanced alteration of road surface are vivid enough that the astute passenger will spot the wheels wriggling. This is not standard issue car making or perhaps supercar making nowadays. But McLaren will be countercultural by prioritizing driver involvement, even at sub-racetrack speeds, something regularly sacrificed along the industry because of ever-increasing horsepower, performance, and weight. While even McLaren succumbs for the siren song in the stopwatch on more costly wares like the 720S, the target on feedback on its lower-priced sports series type of cars, a trio of $200,000 two-seaters that consists on the 570S coupe, the more practical 570 GT, which new Topi's hardtop convertible 570S Spider, makes them McLaren's to acquire. The good points of 2018 McLaren 570S: organic steering, alive even below the limit, tax-bidding exhaust note. The bad points of 2018 McLaren 570S: numb brake pedal, some ergonomic foibles. No lumps. The hunt for driving character is the reason McLaren won't take its electric assist lumps like everybody else, continuing make use of hydraulically assisted power steering. Also spec'd inside name of feel are surprisingly modest tire sizes, including 225mm section width rubber in the front, 10mm narrower compared to what a Honda Civic C wears. These restrained tire selections certainly benefit ride quality, too, which can be very reasonable by supercar standards. It's in contrast to these cars can deliver impressive numbers, though. We expect the 570S Spider, powered by McLaren's familiar twin-turbocharged, flat-plane crank V8 which was designed while using English engineering firm Ricardo, screams to 8,200 revolutions per minute, and makes 562 horsepower, to dash to 60 miles per hour in 3.0 seconds, also to return quarter-mile times inside high 10-second range. The last 570S coupe we tested managed 1.05 grams about the skid pad, which means your drop-top version won't certainly be a slouch there, either. And, using the top-up, the Spider will get to the same claimed 204 miles per hour top speed because coupe, a spot of pride with the aerodynamics team. It's perhaps not only a huge surprise which the dynamic exuberance in the coupe carries over basically unchanged on the Spider, as being the folding hardtop mechanism adds a claimed 101 pounds. And, indeed, the Spider feels coupe-like rolling around in its solidity, despite receiving no additional bracing to its carbon fiber structure. We were hard-pressed to feel a meaningful difference in structural rigidity using the top either in position. The coupe and convertible are very similar that this suspension hardware remains identical, with only slight Spider-specific software tweaks for the programming with the adaptive dampers. Exhaust screams, as do bystanders. Befitting a supercar, the 570S's extroverted looks turn heads together with anything, along with perhaps better inside the sharply contrasting two-tone color schemes from the cars we exercised on sinewy mountain roads away from Barcelona. Numerous times, young children, the most honest of most critics, were so overwhelmed by the Spider's presence they simply yelled, possibly involuntarily, "Mama!" even as we rolled by. Even using the car outside of sight, consumers are drawn for the properly cantankerous, tax-bidding grumble with the 570's twin-turbo V8 when it's first commenced. All in the cars we drove were fitted with all the $4,090 sport exhaust, which, besides louder conventional pipes, adds a sound-enhancing resonator tube to channel noise between exhaust plus the cavity, the location where the top stows. A similar resonator about the intake side is standard, plus the intensity of they are all controlled by the butterfly valve. The two resonators, plus flaps inside the exhaust, make meaningful differences within the V8's roar, one of the three driver selectable powertrain modes. Even while using exhaust at its loudest, though, with all the top-down, wind noise gets control of above 70 miles per hour, possibly even. To better hear the .8-liter V8 at high speeds, either get a tunnel. We blasted through lots of on our route, the spot that the violent shriek sounds just as if it's trying to inflict structural damage, or keep the top up and lower the independently controlled rear window. This is actually a nice cruising option, where some outside air still wafts to the cabin but without permitting irritating wind buffeting. The towpiece folding hardtop stows in the touch of your switch in 15 seconds at speeds as high as 25 miles per hour in an uncommon trick. The stowage spot with the roof can be used as additional top-up cargo capacity, the shallow but wide area accessed by raising the truck to cover via buttons around the bottom edge from the doors. This location seems inconvenient but is actually in reach once the dihedral doors are swung skyward. The standard seats aren't bolstered particularly aggressively. Much snugger racing seats can be found in two quantities of constriction for individuals who like a firm embrace, and offer a comfortable perch for working superb dual-clutch automatic. The gearbox's modes consist of smooth to swift, and manual shifting is handled with a single paddle that snakes behind the lever and pops on both sides, so either half can deliver up or down shifts according to whether the input is often a pull or maybe a push. We preferred manual mode for aggressive driving, that you can easily maintain your engine near its 5,000 revolutions per minute torque peak to arrive at agreeable sniffs of turbo lag at lower engine speeds. Other than rather thick pillars, by our measurements, those on the Acura NSX and also the Porsche 911 are significantly slimmer. The view out your front is textbook mid-engine car spectacular, the hood quickly falling away and leaving it towards the rushing way to provide the visuals. Mute brake pedal. Supercars usually aren't without ergonomic foibles, and also the Spider incorporates a few, like the awkward seat controls located in the front inner edge from the bottom cushion, where they can't simply be seen. In addition, the 7.0-inch vertically oriented touchscreen isn't terribly vibrant in the first place, and yes, it easily washes outside in direct sunlight. We didn't expect lacking brake pedal feel together with the standard carbon ceramic brakes, plus it's the only real area where car-to-driver communication is lacking. It's not about stopping power, once there is plenty, but there's a too long zone of initial pedal stroke where nothing happens, that will make navigating stop-and-go traffic much harder than it must be. Once the pads are firmly in contact using the rotors, the pedal gets hard and doesn't budge much farther, making modulation much more about force than travel. We didn't drive any cars equipped while using no-cost iron rotors, which is often better behaved. McLaren is on its way off a monumental sales year in 2016, in which its sales almost exactly doubled, to 3,286. The 570S Spider, expected to become its bestseller, certainly might help nudge that number closer for the company's goal around 4,500 units per annum without the need of SUVs, thanks, says McLaren. At $211,300 to begin, the Spider's pricing is roughly 10% higher than the coupes, but determined by paint, trim, and show options. It's basically a wash, with ACE-equipped prices for coupe, GT, and convertible widely overlapping. It takes 11 days for your 370-person build team at McLaren's Woking, England, factory to change a collection of parts into this organic, analog, and incredibly much alive supercar. It's an extraordinary achievement, just like the automobile itself.